What you are looking at here is the pinnacle of weather engineering technology today. This waterless design and geometric approach gives the technology an achievement of boundless potential and is perhaps the highlight of Trevor James Constable's weather engineering career. Before our dear Trevor's achievements, orgone or etheric weather engineering needed a water ground source to function. Seen here are some of Trevor's advanced airborne geometrical designs, which are the ultimate drought, smog, hurricane, and firefighting relief technology, a milestone in innovation and brilliance. Trevor has had proof of this clean, non-chemical weather modification process for over 20 years. US federal laws provide that such weather modification operations must be reported in advance to the National Oceanographic and Atmospheric Administration of the United States government. By appending an engineering drawing in a federal filing document seen here, labelled as Operation Pincher 2. Trevor has shown clearly how it was intended to bring rain into statistically rainless Los Angeles. The US government radar fax maps would provide third-party confirmation and irrefutable objective evidence of where rain formations developed and how they moved and thus brought in rain into Los Angeles, where the project was successful. Simply expressed, Trevor has provided proof that he would define in advance what he intended to do and how he intended to do it, using the official government filing procedure for weather engineering. Then he would execute the project. Government measurements and radar maps would objectively confirm or refute the success. Here is the SS Maui. It was on this ship that Trevor Constable conducted 13 years of weather engineering experiments using his revolutionary geometrical waterless designs. What you are about to see are various research and development tests.
This is the Black Widow, a basic projector of etheric force consisting of a PVC tube with associated lined cone. Here is another version of it. The cone and the tube are geometrically related to each other. All of these devices are basically projectors of etheric force. Even a simple cone, like this, is a projector of etheric force. These bazookas do not use cones, but employ layering. There is no electromagnetic radiation, no chemicals, no external energy source. This is the termite. We call it that because as the ship moves and this rotates, it literally bores into the ether, setting up etheric vortices. You're going to see these. Termites come in different sizes. This is a termite 135. Also a vortex generator. This is a small one, about the size of a coffee cup, the 4x4. This is the box Apache, a basic and simple generator of vertical etheric vortices. Such an arrangement stirs vertical ether currents into vortices, and these translate into rain. This is the brainchild of Irwin Trent, my oldest and closest associate. We call it the skimmer. It's simpler than the simplest transistor radio, but it will make rain in high pressure. You'll see this. Here are a couple of skimmers in a spider-type arrangement. This also raises hob in the atmosphere. No chemicals, no electricity, ever. Some of them are pretty small, as you can see from my hand. We call this one the Matterhorn. There's a couple of very precisely tuned chambers there, but once again, no chemicals and no electricity, just the power required to rotate this thing. This is a Mark X spider. It is an effective generator of etheric vortices, and it is perfectly capable of surrounding a moving ship with rain even when the barometer is high. There are many variants of the spider. Here is a Mark II spider working, believe it or not, 6 decks down inside the Maui's hull and below the waterline. If you happen to be a physics professor, this is going to boggle your mind. Here is a similar spider working on the flying bridge in the horizontal mode. With these devices, the idea is to cater to the ether's tendency to move in the form of vortices. There are dozens of variants for generating these vortices, and they are all descended from the original devices, the projectors, that we're going to show you first. In the earlier teachings of Dr. Rudolf Steiner, this energy form is called the chemical ether. Dr. Reich demonstrated the existence of this orgone energy, or primary energy, or chemical ether, visually with the orgonoscope, an instrument that he designed, thermically with calibrated thermometers, with the electroscope, and with the Geiger-Müller counter. That was all done in his lifetime. In more recent years, Dr. Walter Stark, a Swiss physicist, developed a special device, a digital instrument called the orgonotester, that provides a continuous digital readout of the activity of this free primary energy. When the responding ether locks itself into a pattern that is due to the equipment upon the traveling ship, that pattern of gross meteorological effects occurs regardless of the existing surface weather. The best aid we have in establishing that this happens is, of course, radar. Let's take a look at an example of this kind of thing. This is a photograph of the collision avoidance system of the SS Maui, taken on the 30th of April, '89. Now, the collision avoidance system gets its information from the Maui's radar. So everything you see here has been derived from the Maui's 3-centimeter radar. This red dot here, which I have stuck on the photograph, that represents the Maui. That's her at the center of the screen, that red chip. This dotted line here is her course line from Honolulu to San Francisco. This circle represents the ocean area around the Maui with a radius of 24 miles. So this circle actually has a diameter of 48 miles. An important clue here to what is going on is this sea clutter out in this direction from the Maui. That is caused by the vessel's headwind coming in on this bearing.
Any experienced deck officer in a merchant marine, any experienced naval officer will tell you that this sea clutter gives you a clue to the existence of about a 20-knot wind coming in this direction. So the Maui actually has a good stiff breeze going this way, and she is herself going this way at 20 knots or better. Look at this rain formation here extending up here like this at right angles to our course. A considerable amount of moisture. Millions and millions of tons of water are coming down out of this as we go. But we did not leave this barrier behind. We towed this barrier with us across the Pacific for at least 80 miles that evening before it began to dissipate after midnight, when there is a definite change in the etheric forces going on.
This is typical of the practical, objective guidance given to our work at sea through the modern miracle of radar. Radar does not lie. These official ship's thermometers show us that we have a 1-degree differential between the wet and dry bulb readings, and that therefore the local atmosphere is not saturated. And over on the barometer, 1021 millibars. And over here to the south and the southwest, high pressure or no high pressure, you have rain, and plenty of it. I wonder how it came about. Here is the culprit, set squarely against the background of his effects. Rotating at approximately 2 RPM and aided by a similar termite on the other side of the ship.
We're in the perpendicular mode. We are eastbound. We've just come out of Honolulu. There's a lot of moisture in the air, and our geometric guns are in the perpendicular mode. We get a very rapid brew-up. Massive and vivid. The whole scene is transformed right before our eyes. And there you have it. All the way up to rain in that shorter length of time. Engineering. You saw it all happen right from zero. From this all the way to that.